First of all, let me start off by being very clear that this isn't meant to be disrespectful to any of our law enforcement agencies on the water. The last thing I want to do is insult any of our Marine Patrol units. However, in the rest of this video, you'll see the people that I'm speaking with are either from the United States Coast Guard, Florida Sheriff Department, or the FWC. Florida Wildlife Conservation. And again, and I'm not saying who's who out of any of this video, but everybody that I'm speaking to is from one of those units. And the laws on the water are not very clear, and that there's no qualifications that need to be met for anybody to get a boat and go out and drive it. That needs to be changed. And as a dive boat captain, one of the biggest problems that we have is, well, we do drift diving here. What drift diving is basically we put a group of divers in the water, and then our job is to follow those divers and pick them up as they come back up. At the same time, our responsibility is to make sure that the divers don't get hit by boat traffic. This can be very challenging, especially on the weekend or a busy holiday or something. One, it can be challenging because people don't understand any of the rules. Let's talk about pecking order a little bit. This is basically who takes priority on the water. The rules of the road, a book written by the Coast Guard to make sure that all captains know who has priority on the water. The first one is a nuke, a vessel that's not under command. They take full priority over all other vessels. The second one is a vessel that's restricted in her ability to maneuver due to the nature of the work that she does. It's always been a gray area whether or not a dive boat, while flying the Alpha dive flag, is considered to be a ram, a vessel restricted in ability to maneuver due to the nature of her work, because that boat is working, there's divers in the water, so she is limited, and she is definitely restricted in her ability to maneuver, at least as far as the boat captain wants to keep the diver safe, then she is restricted in her ability to maneuver. I think common sense would tell you that. In this video, I posed as a fisherman that came too close to the dive flag, and I got into some sort of argument with the dive boat cap. I called the Coast Guard, I called the sheriff, and I called the FWC and explained them all what had happened to me as just a recreational boat operator, and getting into an argument with the dive boat captain to get some different feedback from 3 different Marine Patrol units, and shocking the contradictions that I got.
Paint me a picture here. He had his dive flag out, he had divers in the water, and you're asking if he was a ram or restricted his ability to maneuver?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He is a ram.
Yes.
A ram?
A ram, restricted in his ability to maneuver?
No, he's not.
He's not?
No. No, he's not. No.
And I'd like to know if he's considered a ram, because he says that he was restricted in his ability to maneuver because of his nature of his work.
Yeah.
Is that correct? He is a ram?
Yeah, it actually is.
Know what the circumstances were at that particular time, and you're asking me to speculate.
No, I'm asking you to tell me if the Alpha flag puts him in a higher pecking order than me.
No, it does not put him in a higher pecking order.
So
That's what
he's not restricted in his ability to maneuver due to his nature of work, even if he's flying that Alpha flag. That's my question.
Okay, and was he? And now, what kind of vessel was he driving?
Like a open, like kind of a sport fish or a
powerboat vessel?
No, it was a power boat.
Then no.
So the Alpha flag doesn't mean anything.
Correct.
Conducting dive ops is not restricted.
All right.
He's conducting dive operations. That's what he's doing.
Right, and that doesn't restrict him in his ability to maneuver.
No.
Okay, yeah, they are, I mean, they're of course restricted ability to maneuver because they can't holler at the diver and, ask them to move. But yeah, it's 1,000 feet from the vessel and or the flag or the ball that you see in the water.
Like 500 yards?
500 yards?
And I'm not aware of any set distance, and it's going to be kind of difficult to eyeball the distance when you're out there on the water, bouncing around on the waves,
Go right over where the divers are as long as you're at idle.
You can idle right over the dive flag?
Yeah.
If he was restricted in his ability to maneuver because of the dive flags, and you're supposed to maintain that, 300 feet from a dive flag.
And then, again, the laws that we just explained about the 300 feet in the ocean, the 100 feet in the intercoastal, it'll tell you where there, that's a misconception on everybody's part.
So that's not even a law. Hi, I had a question regarding the rules of the road.
The rules of the road. Okay. Hello?
Yeah, no, are you familiar with them?
Wait 1 second. The rules of the road, or...
It's a book. It's a book that's written by the Coast Guard.
First of all, you're teaching me something, Wes. I didn't know we did any drift diving here.
That he was claiming that he had higher in the pecking order than me because he was flying the Alpha flag. He was considering himself to be restricted in his ability to maneuver, and that was his signal for it.
Only if he's on a I forgot to write it down. It's gotta be a stand-up vessel, not a powerboat vessel. And, and dive boats be on a powerboat. If it's a powerboat vessel, that's not the station. And he's not restricted at that point.
Anybody can buy a boat and freely go drive it.
That's the scary part, yeah. Yeah.
That is very scary, and that surprises me.
Yeah. Yep.
That's actually amazingly scary. So anybody, like, do you what are any qualifications? Do you at least have to have a driver's license so your sight's been tested?
That's a good question. I don't think so, sir. I think to commandeer a boat now, you don't need anything. You don't need to have a license.
So I could be
Just,
80 years old.
I guess identification when you buy it and put the paperwork in your name, but.
Wow, so I could be an 80-year-old man that can't see 5 feet in front of me.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess they don't scrutinize anything as far as that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy.
It's dangerous out there on the water. You gotta be real careful.
Well, that doesn't even seem like there's much of an effort being put forth to that. I got a ticket the other day for not wearing a seatbelt because the state's so concerned about my safety.
Sure.
But I guess if I'm on the water...
It's on your shoulders to, to properly navigate through channels and such.
Well, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the guy that's going to hit me.